All right, welcome everybody to the SABM podcast. And today we're excited to launch a brand new program at SABM called 10X Vets. So 10X Vets is a business mastermind for military veterans who are business owners. And it's a business mastermind on steroids. So I had to bring the infantry with me today on the podcast because there's a lot to cover, a lot of moving parts. And, this is something I've been trying to bring together for probably over 3 years now. How can we connect academy grads and veterans who are business owners in a really unique way? And so that's what 10X Vets does. And so today I've got Bill Militello on the podcast as a guest. And Bill's the founder of Militello Capital and Local Vest, Navy grad, former Marine Corps. And so he leads the Capital Circle within 10X Vets. So you'll learn all about that here in a little bit. I've got David Wench, West Point grad, are representing Army today on the podcast. And David has been in the mastermind group for about a year now. And then within the 10X Vets program, he leads the very first B2B circle. So you'll learn all about what the B2B circle is today on the show. And then we've got Mark Millay, Navy grad. And Mark's, I've known Mark for about a year now. He's been in our mastermind group for about a year. And then he's in the B2B circle as well as our main community meeting each month. And he's going to provide some feedback on how 10X Vets is impacting his business. So full house here today. And so a lot to cover, but just really excited to roll out this new program. And so just to provide an overview before we get started, just a little bit about what the 10X Vets is and how it works. Really it's a mastermind group that enables like-minded veterans to collaborate with each other. So there's nothing better than doing business with people that you trust. And, amongst the academy community and the military veteran community, I know I've got a lot of different people that I work with and that are veterans and academy grads. So having that trust factor is important. The community helps you get your idea to market fast, so rather than getting stuck trying to do stuff all by yourself, you've got partners and you've got different people that can help you out, expand your thinking. So we're all going to a 10X level, right? So if you've read the books and familiar with that framework, the program will help you expand your thinking, help you save time and money. So as you're pursuing, your business endeavors, learning strategies, seeing what other people are doing in their businesses will help you save time and money, help you solve problems. And it's also a chance to serve and give back, right? So there's a lot of folks in the program who aren't just starting out, right? They might have, million-dollar, multi-million-dollar businesses, and they want to help those who might just be starting out. So it's a great chance to serve, give back, and help fellow veterans. So that's really the kind of what 10X Vets is all about and what we stand for. We've got a monthly community meeting where we meet the third Thursday of each month, and in a really cool format, which we can get into in a little bit. And we also have different circles that meet outside of the main community meeting each month. And each circle serves a very specific purpose. And so maybe we'll start off with Bill in the Capital Circle and learn a little bit about what that is. And then we'll hear from David in the B2B Circle, and we'll learn a little bit more about what that is. And then we'll kind of show you how it all ties in together. So Bill, rather than me just kind of rambling here I always like to hear from the guests, so that was probably the most that I've talked on an SABM podcast since I started it. So I'd like to hand the mic over to you and for you to share a little bit about what the Capital Circle is and how it ties into the 10X Vets community.
Yeah, love to, and thanks, Scott, and appreciate the opportunity. And I'm still getting used to the Zoom podcast format. I can't help but to think of Brady Bunch when I'm looking at everybody on these screens, but I guess that dates me a bit. But I guess back to the point of 10X Vets and specifically the Capital Circle, what is it, why is it important, et cetera. I have a fundamental belief that capital moves at the speed of trust. And the idea of the Capital Circle is really to assemble 30 to 40 high quality military veterans who are principals or managers in their business, who have as one of their primary responsibilities the job of raising capital or syndication of deals. So in order for these veterans to 10x their business, to 10x their goals, they're going to need a community. You can effort yourself to 100% game, but it's really difficult to 10x your game, right, all by yourself. And so they need a community or a circle, if you will, of highly competent, high integrity, like-minded veterans helping them. So that's the idea behind the Capital Circle.
Awesome, Bill. And what are some of your goals for the Capital Circle? So, I mean, we haven't really marketed this hardly at all, and we've already got probably 20 people in the Capital Circle just within, I think we've had 1 or 2 meetings, which is really amazing. Just kind of as we're thinking about the Capital Circle and laying the groundwork, what are some of your goals for the Capital Circle and also maybe what you'd like to see the individual members achieve?
Sure. I guess maybe the last thing first, and around goals, and its importance. It's only as important as much as your goals are important to you. So what this isn't is just a networking meetup. This is a forum where iron sharpens iron. You gain knowledge, you build trusted relationships, you grow your net worth, And so really those are my 3 goals. My 3 goals are around knowledge, network, and net worth. And so over time, members will earn each other's trust because they've given it, they've extended it, but also that they've demonstrated competency. And so if there's a goal that can come from those 3 goals, is that eventually that this circle becomes a force, right? Almost like a virtual investment bank where, veterans get veteran-led deals done, period.
All right. And sounds like a necessary component to a business community. So I don't know how many business communities are out there like this that have that capital component to them, but it's just amazing to it will be amazing to see what that will do to help the other members in the 10X Vets program.
Yeah, we're certainly looking forward to it, right? Businesses run on capital. Certainly there's plenty of businesses out there that, are not as capital intensive as others, but some things that come to mind that really are capital intensive are real estate funds, commercial real estate. Those people are involved in multifamily and syndication. Those other veterans and grads that have startups and need capital to expand their businesses. So we welcome any and all, and hopefully over time we grow this pretty robust group that has a pretty powerful syndication engine.
All right, and then over to you, David, in regards to the B2B circle. So the B2B circle was the second circle that we started up, and we've had 2 meetings so far. And David, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what the B2B circle is, and then maybe even just a little bit about yourself. And I know I've known you for the last year, and just you've been a standout amongst within the SABM Mastermind group. And when we launched this new 10X Vets program, I thought you'd be the ideal person to lead the B2B circle. So maybe just an intro about who you are, what you do, and then a little bit about what the B2B circle is all about.
Well, Scott, thank you very much. I appreciate being here. I guess, I guess before I jump into what the B2B circle is about, I guess I'll start with why I'm here. Um, I've had a background in sales and sales management for many years, and I started a sales management consulting business in 2012. And when you started your Mastermind Business Accelerator program, it was right at the point when I said, instead of me just being a consultant, I want to take a look at building a business. And so it was a good timing it was an opportunity for me to decide to work on that business to go about doing that. And and where I'm at, a couple of my passions, I've learned is I love sales management and I also love helping people. And so I'm just trying to maintain integrity with my own why as we move forward. And the B2B circle looks like a good place for me to continue with all of that. For those of you that are looking for a safe place to work on growing your business, I encourage you to take a look at a B2B circle. It's targeted primarily at a small B2B business owner or business development person that's calling on B2B businesses of 10 to 50 employees. Personally, I'm here to take my consulting business from 6-figure revenue to 7-figure revenue and beyond. It's a safe place to work with trusted Service Academy grads and vets. It's also an inspiring place. A lot of great people. It's a place where we can go and get unstuck and pick up some leads on new opportunities while we're at it. And what I've enjoyed in just in the year in the accelerator group and in the first couple months of this program is just the input from the group. Personally, I'm a fan of Liz Weissman and her multipliers concept, where the group of people has a lot more to offer than just myself. And my goal for the group, I guess at least for the first group, is how do we build the right model? It's not just a networking group. I mean, it's focused on working on your business. So, I'm trying to help facilitate and moderate and just, work with people along the way to help people working on their business, and figure out how we can come up with the right number of people, the right initiatives within the circle, and then Scott working with you on how do we replicate it. These groups I think need to be a certain size, maybe 15 people. We're finalizing that, but but we don't need to stop at one B2B circle. We can build more.
Absolutely. And, just the meeting format that you've come up with for the B2B meetings, I think we were talking about that before we hit record, but you've done a great job. And so for those listening, the way the B2B circle is structured, as David explained, it's for business owners and or high caliber sales reps. So you don't necessarily have to be the owner of the company, but you have to have about the same size customer as the other people in the group, right? And so in the first circle, we've got, the West Pointer that does commercial insurance. We have a Coastie that does 401k plans. We have a Navy grad that does credit card processing. We've got all of these different, and all of them are different, types of businesses represented in the B2B circle. And we're there to help each other grow their respective businesses through referrals, introductions, and even new learning and stuff you can learn from the other folks in the group. So, and then once that circle gets filled up, we just start the second B2B circle, right? And the third, and David, I think you're laying some important groundwork as far as what these future B2B circles will look like.
And I get the other part there when we talk about the different type of people in the group. Our goal is to have non-competitors, each group. So there will be additional groups coming down the line, but, so that if you're in the group, you don't have to worry about dealing with a competitor within your specific B2B circle.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So kind of like BNI in a little bit, but a lot cooler. Academy grads and vets and
I think it's kind of a cross between BNI and Vistage and things of that sort. made up of Service Academy grads and veterans. So a target audience of trusted people.
Awesome. Thanks, David. And then Mark, over to you real quick. And so, I mean, you've been in the mastermind for about a year. So we've known each other for a while. You're in the B2B circle. You'll probably be leading a B2B circle at some point once we get to that point. And you know Bill, from Local Vest, and you've got an investor group on Local Vest. So you've got a lot of touches here within the 10X Vets community, and just would love to learn just a little bit more about kind of, I guess, your experience and maybe how this group has impacted your business.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. And it's great to be here with rock stars like Bill and David too. I guess David hit it when he brought up the diversity in the group and how powerful that is. I just retired 2 years ago. Bill and David have been out for just a couple more years than that. And I know if anyone knows Bill's story, I mean, he has been there, done that, and come back to build Local Vest with a passion for democratizing capital raising. And what he just shared is the tip of the iceberg of what he has brought to the 10X Vest Investor Circle. And what David's doing now with his sales program, but brought into 10X Vets, he brings years of experience. And I bring very little to 10X Vets because I don't have the depth of experience that these two guys do, and they represent. However, I just retired 2 years ago, went through a year of kind of figuring out my entrepreneur path, began failing, was pointed to Scott, your group that used to be the SABM Service Academy Business Mastermind, now 10X Vets, and it has been exactly the affinity group and the curated, very supportive, smaller group circle to propel me and guide the direction of my pivot that I made with my small business. So whether it was talking to David about MailChimp versus HubSpot, or talking to Bill about, hey, I got this idea, and he says, no, that's not a good idea, but this is a better idea. Think about this. All of that began in the 10X Vets community, got taken offline, and really helped propel me in the very formative months of my small business. So, like Bill said, capital moves at the speed of trust, which is an awesome saying. I think so does business move at the speed of trust. And in this affinity group, Scott, the 10X Vets community, it's just amplified. And that trust is assumed. And when David's running that B2B circle, and I don't know anybody in that 6-person group, you can assume a level of trust and get right to sharing your issues in a trusted environment. And you can immediately, you burn through the traditional networking and grip and grin, and you get right to, okay, here's where I'm sucking. Here's what I need help at. Help me suck less. And I can tell you both just Bill and David themselves have been a huge help to me in to them a very small way, to me in a very big way, in helping me move in the right direction. So it's been a journey, Scott, and for me as a new entrepreneur, I tell those who are in my footsteps that it's the whole journey of entrepreneurship is opening up one door at a time, and the 10X journey is all about opening up different doors. And really, in each of those doors has introduced me to world-class entrepreneur assistance, small business assistance, in a very trusted environment.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. And yeah, I appreciate you hopping on here to share your story today and also being a part of the program. And just to provide some context for everybody, SABM isn't going away. So we're still doing all of the stuff that we do. But within SABM, as Mark was referring to, there was a mastermind group of business owners that would meet once a month. And I started that in May of 2019. We grew it to about 20 business owners over a year. Came up with a really cool meeting format on Zoom. And so we've been on Zoom calls for the last year. We do member spotlights. We'll have guest speakers. We divide into breakout rooms on Zoom. People have to come to the meetings prepared with either a solution or some new strategy or that they're using in their business that saved them time or to get new customers, and share that with their breakout room. Or they have to come to the meeting with a problem where they're stuck, right? And we've helped people with all sorts of problems, and that's what the small groups are for on the call. So we came up with this really cool, innovative meeting format and grew it to about 20 members over the course of a year. And 10X Vets is really a way to 10X that idea. And, and I think if you guys wouldn't mind, if we can just riff for a little bit on this whole idea of 10X, but what I realized in my business was, to go 10 times bigger, you have to do things differently. And so for me, a part of the SABM group was this, business mastermind group that I would facilitate each month. And, we grew it to 20 members, and it's like, how do we go to 200, right? Because the way you go from 20 to 200 is different than how I went from 1 to 20. And, one might be probably 1 to 20 is more of a linear path, and, 20 to 200 is more of an exponential path. And so this idea of 10X Vets and this new mastermind group that we're building out, I mean, we've already doubled. I think we've already doubled in size in just less than 2 months without hardly any promotion. Like, this is the first really announcement of 10X Vets here on today's podcast. And what I've learned in my business and how to grow it to an exponential level are all of the things that that I'm applying to help this community grow to a new level. So I'd love to just maybe pause there and I know, Bill, you're an exponential thinker, and you've got your framework, with that you use in your business, to the leverage framework. And I'd love to maybe just stop there and just get your thoughts on exponential growth, and maybe even just some advice for the folks that are listening, how they might be able to achieve, 10X growth in their businesses.
Sure, and thanks, Scott. And I think you kind of summarized it really well already. That when you use the analogy of SABM and the first 20 people and how that was more of a linear growth. I guess mathematically it's the same, but if anybody grows a business one person at a time or one client at a time, they know that it is about self-effort. And the funny thing about veterans, we're not afraid of hard work. Grit and determination are part of our best qualities. And really, to go again back to your growth trajectory and 10X Vets, to go from 20 to 200, you just have to do things differently. You can't work 10 times harder. It's just not possible. I know I can't work 10 times harder. This is not enough hours in the day. So, and I don't think anybody else can either. So you have to back up and look at things and start to address them differently. And I think that that's really the basis. We're our own experiment, right? 10X Vets is an experiment with an experiment, right? It's kind of funny that way. But when you think about looking at things differently to 10X or to exponentially grow, now I said that one of those things requires a community of like-minded people. We're calling those circles, right? The B2B circle, the capital circle. There'll be others that are planned, and we're looking forward to adding to 10X Vets in helping veterans who have specific functional area or vertical interests, but also that will add to the exponential growth of 10X Vets. And so we've discussed many times that there are these suite of levers, right? Leverage points And, I look at business models in my own business through the lens of these 7. And then, over the course of the last couple of years working with you, Scott, we've added, a couple of 3 more. So we're up to 10 leverage points, right? That you evaluate your day, your work, your business on things like, how do you leverage capital? How do you leverage technology? How do you leverage community and word of mouth and platforms and processes? And yes, and there's 5 more. So, those are the types of things that I hope that we make available and communicate and teach and help people self-assess as part of 10X Vets, because viewing your business and your entrepreneurial journey through that lens of these 10 potential levers to leverage your effort could have really tremendous impact on your life.
Absolutely, Bill, and well said. And I really hope, or not hope, but I can't wait until we do have that self-assessment or scorecard that members can put their businesses through, where they can rate themselves on, hey, here's the 10 leverage points. Like, where do you rank on a scale of 1 to 10 on each of them? And for me and SABM, hey, great on technology, right? Great on platforms. Like, we have a very wide reach, as it relates to the mastermind group. It was just me doing it by myself, right? And so the leverage points that I was missing was the team and collaboration and the partnerships. And so having guys like you guys, in the program or part of the program, it takes it to an exponential level. And just thinking about down the road, all of the connections that I've made over the last 3 years within SABM. There's going to be some of those people are going to have leadership positions within 10X Vets. I mean, we've talked about a government contracting circle. We've talked about a healthcare circle. So imagine all of these, it's like niching down, I think 3 times, right? So veterans, academy grads, and then very specific business models that people have coming together on Zoom calls and forming partnerships, working together, sharing best practices. Is I can't wait to kind of see this thing built out, but then everybody's connected through this community, through our monthly community meeting, through the community Slack channel. And I've been trying to crack the code for 3 years now on how to bring it all together, and it's just exciting to see it happen. So I appreciate you guys being part of it. And then I guess,
well, it's our pleasure, Scott. It really is. And thanks for all the hard work of priming the pump. The years of effort of you thinking of building the pump and then drilling the well, and then priming the pump so that we're just stepping in and filling our buckets as a result of your efforts. So really, we appreciate you.
Hey, Scott, can I add something that kind of Bill made me think of? Again, I'm the newest entrepreneur in this group, and I have been a part of 2 transition programs and now a major sustainability program. The 2 transition programs, I just happen to be wearing one of the shirts. Patriot Boot Camp is a weekend incubator that is aligned with Techstars, and they're sponsored by giants like MetLife and USAA. Wonderful program. Teaches transitioning veterans and military spouses the language of entrepreneurship and business. And it's a whole different language. And I think that's one of that was one of the immediate realizations that I had, that I needed to retool myself to be successful in this new world. And that started that. And then a program that you and I are both in, the Global Good Fund Veteran Leadership Program, was a year-long leadership training and fellowship program, as well as a executive mentor program that provided me sustained support through my entrepreneur path and my pivot. And it is unlike any other transition program in that it it is there with a leadership development program with accountability steps that won't let you down. And once you graduate from the program, once I graduated from the program, I was far better prepared to succeed in my small business pivot. And through that program, I learned about SABM and got aligned in your program. And what I found with joining yours, which is now really joining 10X Vets, I was joining a sustainability program that took, my small business, which had been successfully launched, pivoted, and was moving. It was kind of getting speed down a runway, and joining 10X Vets got me airborne. And it then aligned me with this very highly successful entrepreneur community that's very selfless, small in number, that meets every month. It just keeps air under the wings, if you will, and keeps the propulsion going. What David's now doing with the accountability part of in the B2B circle is just like the Global Good Fund that you and I are a part of. And we all, as military veterans, know if there's no accountability, how much work are we going to put into it? Whether it's self-improvement or it's the success of our unit or our squadron or our ship. I mean, there's got to be an accountability process. And what you're now adding to this with an accountability feature will take 10X Vets to the next level, because we all want to support each other, and we all don't want to let each other down. And I think that's going to really set 10X Vets apart. Is not only is it a sustained support program, but the accountability piece is going to separate it from every other veteran entrepreneur support organization out there.
Yeah, and I guess, just to speak to the 10X concept, and I'm really excited, I guess, just to kind of circle back on that, I'm really excited for once we create that framework. For the folks listening, thinking about the business that you're in or the business that you want to start, where are you stuck? What areas are you growing linearly, versus exponentially? And I think having a framework where you can compare your business up against, where you can see, here's the different leverage points and where your strengths and weaknesses are. I mean, I think is just a fantastic way to get unstuck and then to get on the exponential growth curve. And I've seen it happen over the last couple of months just with adding one new leverage point, adding teammates and partnerships. And we've doubled in size in 2 months. And, just excited to see where this will go, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months down the line, 10 years from now, right?
Yeah, and not just you, that's everybody who's in this ecosystem you're building. We're all building partnerships with each other behind the scenes every day. And those partnerships are leading to other referrals and other partnerships. So for those listening in, what this has become, what years of your labor have led to is almost it's a self-perpetuating machine of intense networking and like Bill said, expanding knowledge, networking, and net worth. And that truly is what is occurring now in 10X Vets.
Scott, I guess I could interject a little bit on this whole process as part of my own journey and us doing that, is that, I was successful providing customized sales management services to small B2B business owners, and my one-on-one selling process worked fine. But when I decided I wanted to end up growing that business, I had to look at things differently. And I guess that's all part of things. And there's certain steps that have happened. One of them was start outsourcing more, outsource as much as I can of my non-core functions and free myself up to spend more time in my core functions. At the second time, trying to dissect in what I offer to figure out what part is reproducible. I mean, as opposed to the stuff that's maybe things that were customized that I did for myself, that's not necessarily a reproducible solution. What part of it, and over the 8 years, I feel as though I've come across with the 5 essential elements to sales management excellence for small business owners. And so it's picking apart what part of that is reproducible so that as I scale, other people can help me put that into place. Of course, the other part in growing it, taking advantage of technology and marketing to turn around and expand the outreach beyond where I was. Because, up until a year ago, 25 miles from my home office was all I prospected. Over the next year, I'm prospecting now across the country. So, those are just some of the examples in the preparation to 10X that I'm pursuing.
Yeah, and I'm excited when I get your sales newsletter each week. So, yep. Just another way to use technology to deliver value and get new clients. So, well, good. And so for the folks that are listening today, it's great to hear from Bill, Dave, Mark, and their stories and their how they're contributing to the program and what they're doing in their individual businesses to grow them. If this sounds interesting to you, the ways to get started. So as we mentioned, we've got the B2B circle. So if you fit that profile where you're a business owner or a sales rep, that's whose clients are other small businesses with between 10 and 250 employees, and you want to be a part of the B2B circle to grow your customer base, as long as your customers, I would say, can be located anywhere geographically, that might be a good circle for you. And then the capital circle, if you have an investment fund or you're interested in real estate investing, or you've got a startup where raising capital is a part of your business, then the capital circle could be for you. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to have lots of other new circles that we're going to be rolling out in the next year, 2 years, 3 years down the line. So as this grows, so those are some places to get started. If there's not a circle for you that's a good fit for your business, I would say probably a third to half of the people in the group just attend the monthly community meeting each month and get tons of value from that. So there's a place for you to start no matter where you're at in your business, no matter what size your business is. There's a place for you. And if you'd like to learn more about 10X Vets, visit sabmgroup.com/10X. And there you'll learn a little bit more about the program, schedule a call, and we can go over it and invite you to our one of our next meetings. So Bill, David, Mark, anything that I missed or that we left out, or what should we end on here?
I was going to say beat Army just to get it.
And I would say beat Navy. No, of course I would say beat Army. I just took David's line.
It's that's always a great contest. Anyway, yes, obviously I'm on the beat Navy, beat Air Force side, but yeah. I guess the thought for me, Scott, was it was a commitment to myself to join in to start with. It was a commitment. It was a step that I was committed to this scaling process, and it was the step I took in however long it takes me to get there. It was, but this was the step I took to go do that.
So I appreciate that, David. And that's a good thought to end on. So for those of you interested in learning more about the 10X Vets program, again, sabmgroup.com/10X. And thanks everybody for listening today. Thanks, Bill, David, Mark, for joining me today. And I hope to see you at one of our upcoming meetings.